The narrative is always different with the women. That we're either petty, we're jealous, envious, we can't just be, or two people who just generally don't like you.
In a league buzzing with energy, talent, and new stars, the Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese rivalry has become the headline everyone's chasing. From college courts to the WNBA spotlight, their on-court battles and off-court personalities have captivated millions. Cheryl Miller is stepping forward, and she's not cheering the rivalry like the rest of the world. Instead, she's calling it out. What bothers her, she says, isn't the competition, it's the way the media and fans are framing it. Her message? This game is bigger than two players, and if we keep narrowing the story, we might miss the revolution that's happening in women's basketball right now.
Hands down, better than probably, and I'm not inflating this number, probably 98% of the NBA do not have a practice facility like that, with all the bells and whistles, and the bells and whistles that make sense. And now you have, Matt's done a tremendous job. And I was telling the players this, it's one thing to be rich.
Her words cut through the noise of highlight reels and social media debates. While fans and commentators are busy fueling the rivalry, Cheryl is urging everyone to zoom out. She's not dismissing the star power of Clark and Reese. In fact, she applauds their impact. But she's challenging the idea that drama should be the league's main storyline.
I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to...
She points out that the current narrative simplifies what's actually happening in the league. A full-scale evolution. The WNBA isn't just riding a wave, it's building a legacy. Viewership is rising. Ticket sales are breaking records. Young girls across the country are wearing jerseys with names like Wilson, Plum, and Collier. Yet most mainstream coverage still pivots back to Clark and Reese, as if the rest of the league is just background noise. For Miller, this is more than just frustrating. It's dangerous, because the real growth of women's basketball depends on fans, sponsors, and media outlets embracing the entire league, not just the rivalry of the week. She also pushes back on the idea that we need drama to make people care. The narrative tension between Clark's quiet intensity and Reese's unapologetic fire has become clickbait gold, but it's often framed in ways that feed into tired stereotypes. Clark is praised for her poise, Reese is critiqued for her passion. Miller sees the imbalance and calls it what it is, a missed opportunity to educate fans on the wide range of styles, cultures, and personalities that make up the WNBA. The league doesn't need to imitate the NBA's past rivalries. It needs to define its own identity, one that's built on skill, substance, and shared spotlight.
They're getting that attention now. And I told you before that it had to sort of be like a reality TV. And that's what they're starting to give us. And we're paying attention. We're all tuned in. They're getting more attention than they've ever gotten before. And a part of it is Angel Reese. We cannot deny that. She was a part of it. Is she the part of it? No, that's Caitlin. Caitlin is the person who's the main factor. She's the top of the show. She's what everybody came to see.
What Miller is highlighting is the uncomfortable truth. Race, regional identity, and personality are all part of the public's fixation, not just talent or performance. Caitlin Clark has become the face of a new wave of white Midwestern basketball excellence, with her polished image and sharp-shooting style embraced by mainstream audiences. Angel Reese, meanwhile, brings a different kind of power. Bold, emotional, rooted in Southern black culture and unafraid to speak her mind. The contrast has made headlines, but it's also exposed how differently the two are treated in the media and by fans. Miller sees how coded language gets used. Clark is competitive, yet while Reese is too emotional. Clark shows leadership, Reese shows attitude. These subtle double standards reflect more than basketball bias. They reflect the same social dynamics that have followed black athletes for generations. Cheryl Miller knows this because she lived it.
I'm telling y'all, and I'm not trying to cause a kerfuffle, Joe. Caitlin Clark is a hell of a lot better than Angel Reese.
Hey, Joe.
And that's why her voice matters so much in this moment. She's not here to criticize either player. She celebrates them both for the attention they've brought to the game. But she's challenging the rest of us, the media, the fans, the league, to grow up and evolve. To understand that rivalries can be powerful, but they should never become caricatures. When we reduce players to tropes, the golden girl versus the villain, the quiet genius versus the outspoken rebel, we strip them of their full humanity. And in doing so, we miss the richness of their journeys, their backgrounds, and their impact far beyond the box score. For Miller, this isn't just about recognition, it's about representation. When the spotlight gets stuck on two stars, no matter how talented they are, it creates a false narrative that only a select few are worth watching, following, or marketing. She points to Aaliyah Boston, a dominant force in the paint, former #1 overall pick, and college champion. Yet her name rarely trends, and her jersey isn't flying off the shelves the way it should. Or A'ja Wilson, arguably the best player in the league right now, with MVP trophies and a finals ring to prove it, still fighting for the level of attention and endorsement deals that male athletes with fewer accolades get without question. Miller's point is clear. The WNBA is loaded with talent, but if the public only sees two players, often left out of the national conversation unless it's All-Star Weekend or a viral highlight, Cheryl wants to change that. She wants every young girl watching at home, whether she plays like a point guard or a power forward, whether she's quiet or outspoken, to see herself in the league. And that can only happen if we expand the narrative to include everyone, not just the loudest or most polarizing storylines. Cheryl Miller's concern goes beyond just the drama of individual rivalries. It's about preserving the integrity and progress of the entire league. When the conversation becomes consumed by clashes between two players, it distracts from the larger, transformative story unfolding in women's basketball. The WNBA isn't merely a sports league. It's a movement reshaping how the world views female athletes, athleticism, and leadership. Every game, every season, these women are breaking barriers, setting new records, and expanding opportunities for the next generation.
Claim to be fans of Paige, claim to be fans of Angel Reese. Every single one of them, instead of watching the player they claim to be fans of, which we know they're not really fans of those players because nobody watches those players. We can see it in the ratings numbers. They were all watching Caitlin Clark play, just a hate watch. They would all rather watch Caitlin Clark than the players that they pretend to be fans of. And realistically, they're not even fans of those players. They just hate Caitlin Clark. They hate Caitlin Clark, and because of that, they are fans. They stand players that she's against as some sort of weird rival, not even weird rival.
Miller reminds us that these players aren't here to create conflict. They're here to elevate the game. They inspire millions through their talent, resilience, and dedication, proving that women's basketball is as competitive and compelling as any sport on the planet. Focusing too much on rivalry risks, reducing these athletes to caricatures, overshadowing the unity, teamwork, and shared goals that propel the league forward. The WNBA's growth is a collective journey, and by embracing that, fans and media alike can help build a legacy that lasts far beyond any single matchup or headline. For Cheryl Miller, this isn't about tearing down either Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese. On the contrary, she holds deep respect for both athletes, recognizing the incredible talent, hard work, and influence each brings to the game. Clark's sharpshooting and court vision have captivated fans, while Reese's fierce physicality and leadership have made her a force to be reckoned with. Miller acknowledges that these two stars have helped elevate the WNBA's profile, drawing new fans and media attention in ways few others have. However, Miller's greater vision for the league goes far beyond any individual or rivalry. She believes that the future success of women's basketball depends on building a broad, inclusive foundation that celebrates the diversity of talent across the entire league. It's about telling many stories, not just one, and recognizing the different paths, styles, and voices that shape the sport today. By doing so, the league can create a lasting legacy, one that continues to grow with every new player and every new fan who discovers the game. For Miller, this wider perspective isn't just important, it's essential for the WNBA to reach its full potential. So, the next time you see headlines screaming about Caitlin versus Angel, pause and remember what Cheryl Miller reminded us all. The league is bigger than just one rivalry. Women's basketball deserves richer stories, deeper respect, and a spotlight that shines on all its incredible athletes. This isn't just about competition. It's about a movement, a legacy, and a future still unfolding. And these women? They're only just getting started.